Hello, everybody. We're going to begin on our backs today. Actually, I have a couple of announcements to make. First and foremost, if you're not subscribed to the AdRock channel or you're not following AdRock on Instagram, please hit a button and do that, because Adventure Rock is a lovely community who is very worth supporting, especially in these troubling times. So let's stick together, folks. If you want, tomorrow at 11 a.m., Steph will be leading a lovely yoga class. Gives you plenty of time to sleep in and get all your normal quarantine, newly developed habits out of the way. I don't know. What am I saying? Okay. So my name is Chloe. I'm going to lead you through a slower flow. I don't know if you caught my Instagram class, but it was a little bit, I didn't think it had a well-rounded pace. So I'm going to try this time to smooth things out a bit more. All right, so we're going to begin today on our backs. Just settling down into the ground, tucking your shoulders back, and just sort of taking inventory, pressing your palms against the ground, pressing your heels against the ground. We're going to begin to deepen our inhales and exhales. Noticing where our lungs fill up. Noticing where the air empties. I invite you to find your focus for this practice, wherever you're at. Keep your gaze soft and just check in with your body. Wiggling the fingers, the toes a little bit. We're going to begin to inhale deeply through our nose, developing a good energy, feeling the air moving along the back of our throats. And as you begin to inhale, with every inhale, start to press your lower back into the mat a little bit, just letting that tailbone curve up a little bit. Just kind of working on that pelvic tilt. Every inhale, lengthening a little bit. Every exhale, curling that tailbone a little bit higher. On an inhale, we're going to curve our tailbone up and stretch our arms up, pointing our toes. Just taking a nice full body stretch. And on the exhale, as we peel our tailbone up, we're going to bring our knees in and just hug our legs together, becoming a nice human ball. Rocking on our spine, left and right. Taking a moment to really squeeze yourself. And just find some intention, a little bit of energy. We're going to keep our right leg squeezed into our bodies and send our left leg stretching out, down back to the mat. rolling our ankles, and just stretching that left leg long. Beginning to move the right knee, little circles, opening up the hip, opening up the spine a little bit. Maybe playing with grabbing the foot. And just stretching the body out. If it is within your practice, I recommend taking a half happy baby, which just means that you're bringing that knee to your armpit and you're letting the lower half of your leg just move perpendicular. You're grabbing the inside of your foot. We're keeping it easy and gentle. Just letting this be a nice kind of climbery stretch. If that doesn't feel good, just keep on experimenting with that knee rolling. But when you feel good and kind of stretched out, we're going to hug it into our middle again. And then twist that right leg over our left side body. Letting that knee fall to the floor. And then letting our right arm just stretch out in the opposite direction. You can look up, you can look to your left, look to your right. Whatever feels the best for your body. We're just going to breathe into this very easy twist, letting gravity do a little bit of work. Still finding length in our spine with every inhale. With every exhale, twisting a little bit more. One more breath here. And then back to center. Lifting that leg straight above you, right above your hips. You're going to roll the ankle out a little bit. You can support the back of your leg. We're just keeping this easy. We're waking up our body. Point the toe. Get a little nuts with it. Waggle the leg. And then we're going to bring up that left leg. Stretching out a little bit at first. And finding a full candle. Just briefly. Before hugging the left leg in and stretching that right leg out onto the floor. Feeling our hip open up a little bit, the top parts of our legs. And we're just going to hug it in. And then begin to move that left knee over by our armpit. Rolling around the knee in small circles. And then if it feels really good to explore grabbing the inside of our feet into a half happy baby. And just playing around with that, not putting a lot of force into it, maybe stretching the leg out long and then bending it again. But we're just kind of still opening up our hip and our legs. Just having fun with it. And we're going to hug our left leg into our center. And send it on over to the right side of our mats. Twisting over to the left, reaching with our left arm. And just breathing into this. Letting gravity fall on this twist. And focusing on your breath. One more beautiful inhale, finding a little bit of length. Holding it at the top and on the exhale. Deepen that twist just a little bit, whatever it means to you. When you're empty, we'll come back to center. Finding a full candle again, making it easy and gentle, spreading the toes, observing our legs. And planting the palms on either side of our hips. Straightening our back a little bit. We're just going to try and press our lower back into the ground again. Just a little bit. It's a very subtle movement. Every inhale, just preparing, pressing your palms against the mat a little bit. Every exhale, just lifting your tailbone just that little bit. And then we're just going to begin to just gently rock our legs, bending the knees, and kind of rock into that little curl we were doing. Pressing our palms against the mat for a little bit of stability, just creating a little bit of energy. And then you might find that you have enough energy that you can kind of move into a rock and roll position, where you're grabbing the back of your legs. You're just rocking on your spine, using your feet as momentum. Still breathing. Find one last roll, and at the end of it, cross your legs to allow a little bit of momentum to come to your knees, where we will find our tabletop pose in the middle of our mats. So we have our hands underneath our shoulders. We have our knees underneath our hips. Everything is square and nice. You can keep your toes tucked. You can untuck them, whatever feels good. We're going to take a second here to re-find our attention. Pressing the sides of our fingers against the mat. Pressing our shins against the mat, or maybe the toes. Either way, rediscovering that breath. We're going to take one inhale here, just stretching the spine out straight. And a nice, simple tabletop. We'll exhale, exactly still, everything out. Pausing for a moment. On that beautiful next inhale, we're going to curve into cow pose. Letting our tailbone, the crown of our heads, reach for the ceiling. Our stomachs are dropping. We're not totally moving with our breath just yet because we're just exploring cow pose here. Just waking up our spine, rocking our neck back and forth, gripping our fingers into the mat, squinching our hips toward our shoulders, rocking it around a little bit. And then finding a point of stillness where your belly is soft and you're just curved up. I'm going to take one gorgeous inhale here. Reach the crown of the head toward the sky, and on the exhale, begin to slowly, elegantly move into cat pose. Just curving the other direction. Letting your tailbone be heavy, the crown of your head. But just those 2 points of your body. The rest of you is curving up toward the sky. And here I invite you also to rock back and forth. Let your head hang heavy. Imagine your tailbone is heavy. And just explore cat pose for yourself. What needs to wake up a little bit in your body? Just keep it gentle and playful. Inhaling, curving back to cow. Exhale, cat. Let it all out. Inhale, cow. Swooping up. Our collarbones are breathing. Our necks are breathing. Exhale, cat. Finding once again a neutral tabletop. The crown of your head is being pulled to the other side of the room as your tailbone. And you're feeling energetic. On an inhale, we're going to press into our left hand and our shins, and we're going to raise our right arm high to the sky. And on the exhale, threading the needle. So just moving that arm through and under, under the left arm, and resting the right shoulder on the mat. Resting our head against the mat. And then stretching our left arm lazily out in front of us. Or if you want, you can go for a gentle bind, grabbing onto your hip or your upper right thigh. For a gentle shoulder stretch. Either way, we're going to be here for a moment. So just find your breath at center of yourself and your body. Let gravity do the work right now. Unwinding, and moving your palm back toward your face. You're going to press into our left palm. Very gently raise that right arm right back up to the sky again. Breathing, stretching the fingers apart. And coming back to a tabletop, we'll move through a quick cow and cat just to even everything out. And then finding that center point. Your back's pretty straight. Shins are pressing into the ground. Your right palm is pressing into the ground. We're going to lift our left arm, stretching the hand up, maybe opening that hip up a little bit. And on the exhale, we're going to send that right on through, right under the right arm, resting that left shoulder on the ground. And just breathing here. Pressing your right palm into the mat. You're going to lazily drag this left arm and watch it float back up to the sky. Taking a moment to roll the wrists, maybe roll the neck. And then we're back to tabletop. We won't be here for very much longer, but there is a pose or two left. So we're going to just stretch our left arm in front of us and our right arm behind us. Straight as an arrow, extending that tabletop plane, keeping everything true. Going to inhale here. Exhale, just a quick crunch. Exhaling everything away from you. Keeping your balance somehow. On the inhale, stretching back out, reaching for opposite sides of the room. Exhale, everything out, knee to elbow. Stretching back out again. And we'll gently place ourselves back into a neutral tabletop. Moving through one round of cat and cow. Before finding that center point, sticking that right arm straight out, kicking that left leg behind us. First, just rolling the wrist, rolling the ankle. We'll inhale, straightness, and exhale, knee to elbow. Just tucking everything in under us. We're in that little ball again. Inhale, spread out. And exhale, knee to elbow. Spreading out once more. And then coming back to our tabletop. We're going to move our hands one handprint in front of us. And if it feels good, we're going to swoop down to just a baby child's pose, just swooping the hips left and right a little bit, giving them a little bit of love. And then we'll come back to our palms. We're going to tuck our toes if they weren't tucked already. We're going to come very, very mindfully into our first downward dog of the day. So we're pressing into our palms. Our toes are tucked. We're going to just start to straighten our legs and extend our top half at a 45-degree angle, finding that inverted V. Finding what our downward dog feels like today. Pressing our fingers into the mats. Bending one leg and then the other. Letting the head fall, rolling the neck. Just breathing here, finding your center point. We're going to lift the right leg, not too energetically, just kind of waking it up still. We're going to set that right foot, again, just gently on the outside of our left foot. Just open up the hip a little bit, stacking the hips just slightly, keeping it nice and easy. Coming back to center, bending both legs, finding our neutral. And then lifting the left leg just lazily, opening up the leg, opening up the hip, bringing that left foot to the outside of the right, and just kind of stacking the hips if it feels nice. Coming back to our downward dog. This time we're going to bend both of our legs, still sending the hips high up into the sky. We're going to prepare to hop to the top of our mats. So inhale, prepare. Exhale, pressing into your fingertips, hop to the top of your mat, letting your head fall. We'll find ragdoll pose. Grabbing either elbow, bending the knees however much you want, or opening up the lower back a little bit. And we're just letting our heads be heavy here. Breathing into that lower back. Letting our arms be limp. I find here is a really good time to find the four corners of the feet. Finding those two ball mounds. Imagining two corners at the opposite ends of your foot. Lifting up the toes, finding that arch. We're going to inhale to a halfway lift. Coming to our pressing against our shins or our thighs or the floor on our fingertips. Either way, here we're going to roll the shoulders back, letting the crown of the head extend. Just straightening out the back. It's just a flat back pose. Breathing into the backs of our necks. Engaging our stomach. On the exhale, finding a forward fold. Letting the head fall a little bit, feet are hip distance apart. We're going to plant our left hands in between our feet. Maybe you're on your fingertips, maybe both legs are a little bit bent, that's okay. But we're going to especially bend that left leg and reach our right arm up to the sky. Just for a nice little baby twist. I find if I look down to the ground or waggle my arm around a little bit, I can get some juicy little cracks or something going on. Exhale back to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bending the right leg, planting the right palm in between the feet, and lifting up that left arm. Moving it around intuitively a little bit, just gently. Finding what feels good for you. One last inhale, reaching up for the sky. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Rolling the shoulders back, exhale, fold. Bending the knees just a little bit. Raise those toes up, make sure you have a nice foundation here. We're gonna rise up energetically to mountain pose. Arms above us. Reaching up for the sky. Where are your shoulders at? Maybe you should lower them. Moving your shoulder blades down your back a little bit, letting your ears breathe. Lifting up those toes again. Shifting your tailbone if you find you still have a bit of that tilt that we found when we were lying on the ground. Tucking in that tailbone just slightly. Feeling stable, energetic. Inhale the arms up again, arcing up. And on the exhale, hands come to heart center. Samasthiti, standing at attention pose. Sorry, my body is not totally in this. So, here we're gonna tuck the tailbone in a little bit if you kind of lost your focus there. Our shoulders are down. We're pressing into our palms. And here you can keep your feet as is, or you can move them together because we're preparing for chair pose. So, inhale the crown of your head up, tuck the tailbone in, find that center point of energy just shooting up from you. On the exhale, we're just gonna sit back just a little bit. Just building some warmth. Lifting the toes, dropping them, making sure we can see the toes. We do not want the knees to be over our feet. So we're mindful of that. We're pressing our palms together. Our shoulders still are not up by our ears. Our top half is light and happy. And our bottom half just has a lot of energy happening right now. You might find a slight pulse. It's a little bit interesting here. But our legs are really powerful. So let's just give this 2 more breaths of just complete focus. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Perhaps lifting your arms. And exhale. Slowly straightening back to a forward fold, letting your head drop. Inhale, halfway lift. Rolling the shoulders back, opening your chest up a little bit. Lifting those toes, keeping everything energetic. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, rising up. We add a bit of a back bend, just very gentle. Hands slightly behind you. And exhale, hands to heart center. And as your hands are falling to your heart center, find yourself sitting back in chair. Just briefly. We're gonna rise back up to mountain. Inhale. Exhale, Samasthiti, pressing the palms and sitting down. Just for a moment. Inhaling the head up. The crown of the head up. And exhale. Letting it all go and rising back up on the inhale, mountain. Exhale. Our final chair pose for right now. We're just building a little bit of energy. Tucking the tailbone, pressing the palms, letting the chest lift. You can stay here, just challenging your brain and your body. Or you can, if you like, shift over to the right and to the left, just slightly, as though you were going to hook your elbow, but we're just making this a gentle kind of warming, twisting motion. We're going to take one more breath here, wherever you're at. This time exhaling completely in this pose, letting it all go. And tilting forward to a forward fold. Moving our feet hip distance if they were together. Bending one leg and then the other. We're going to inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, folding back down. Letting our fingertips rest in front of us. We're going to start to shift our weight to our left foot. Finding the 4 corners of our feet. Maybe putting a little bit of gentle weight into our fingertips. We're going to come into just a very easy, gentle standing splits. So don't be intimidated. It's going to be very brief. We're just stretching that leg out behind us. Wherever you're at, you can bend this left leg a little bit. And on the exhale, I'm just going to step that right leg back, placing the right knee on the ground, finding our energy, finding our focus again, You can untuck that back toe if you like. On the inhale, we're going to rise our arms up to a crescent lunge. At first, just delighting in the pose itself. Exhaling the shoulders away from the ears. The shoulders are over the hips. We're trying to pull that right hip a little bit more forward, a little bit more even, and almost pull the left hip a little bit back. Get that kind of oppositional energy going. There's a sort of overall stability there from the opposition. We're going to inhale everything up. And on the exhale, we're going to slide that right hand down the back of our right leg. Just for a slight twist. Stretching our arms back up. Crescent lunge. Tucking that back toe. You might need to put your fingertips on the ground. But keeping the knee on the ground. We're going to inhale our arms up. And this time let our left arm slide along the back of our right leg. Reaching that right arm back. We're going to gently just press ourselves into a lunge. Kicking our heel out. Extending our back leg. Breathing here for a moment. Before exhaling our right hand down and stretching our left arm up. Looking up toward the sky, keeping that back leg strong. Finding the fingertips at the front of the mat. We're going to set that back leg down again on the knee. Stretching up into a crescent lunge, but this time we're going to swing our arms back into a half split. Peeling that left foot up, straightening that front leg. And just stretching out over our left leg. On the inhale, gently pressing into, as though in slow motion, our left foot reaching up to the sky into our lunge. On the exhale, stretching the other way, half splits. Pointing the toes, spreading the toes apart. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, half splits. Final one. Really breathe into that hamstring stretch. Let your head fall. Let your fingertips rest on the mat, either side of your leg. You can take a half lift here. Pressing your fingertips against the ground or against your shin. Just get a little bit more length out of your lower back. On the exhale, pressing into your left foot, lifting that back leg, moving your fingertips toward the front of your mat, right in front of your left foot. We're going to rock a little bit, preparing to move right back into forward fold. Making it gentle, making it skeletal. We're going to inhale to prepare, rocking on our back foot. And on the exhale, moving back, bending one leg and then the other. Letting the head fall. Resting here for a moment. Finding the four corners of our feet. Feeling that stretch in the back of the legs. The top of the head is heavy. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Letting your fingertips come in front of you. We're going to shift our weight to our right leg. Finding the foundation there, lifting our right toes, lowering them. And gently leaning into our fingertips a bit, we're just gonna lift that left leg. First, just opening the leg up a little bit, whatever that means to you. It can be very gentle, just rolling the ankle. And on the exhale, pressing that left knee into the ground, untucking the toes. If that's comfortable to you, you can keep them tucked this whole time too. We're gonna rise our arms up into crescent lunge. Taking a moment to exhale those shoulders down a little bit. I find it helps me engage in a stretch to sort of claw the air with my fingers. Lift my toes up. Kind of engage my feet a little bit in any given pose. We'll inhale everything up. And then exhale, letting that left leg or left hand slide along the back of our left leg. Stretching a little bit, keeping it gentle. Lifting both arms up to center. Gonna make sure that back leg is tucked. Rising our arms up again. We'll let that right hand trail down in a twist along the back of that left leg, stretching up and kicking back, rising up into a lunge. Straightening the leg, just breathing here, reaching toward the back of the mat. Finding stability in your feet, keeping that back leg strong. We're gonna take one more inhale here. And exhale the left hand to the mat, right beside the right foot. You're gonna stretch that right arm up. Do a gentle open twist. And exhale down to the ground, bringing that back leg to the knee. Rising up to crescent just briefly before rocking back into our half split. Straightening the front leg, peeling that right foot up. And just breathing here. Spreading the toes apart, rolling the ankle. On an exhale, watching your foot gently press into the mat. As your arms rise up light, kneeling crescent lunge. And on the exhale, swooping those arms back behind you. Chest is stretching forward a little bit. You're just bowing in front of your right leg. Inhale, lunge. And exhale. Final stretch on top of that right leg. Hips are high. We're still pressing into our left leg a little bit. Try and keep those hips even. Might want to halfway lift. Get a bit of a deeper stretch here. Exhaling forward. Tucking your back toes. We're going to plant our fingertips in front of our feet at the top of our mats. And just rock on that back foot a little bit, just preparing to step back into forward fold. From here, we're going to move the feet maybe a little bit more than hip distance. But only slightly. You can keep them hip distance. We're going to move into gorilla pose. So that means bending your knees, however, is comfortable. Enough to grab with your peace fingers, your big toes, and sort of like using that as a way to like hinge yourself, draw yourself deeper into this hamstring stretch. Alternatively, you can also step onto your palms, also bending your legs however much you need. Either way, just letting the top of your head drop. Pressing your feet into your palms, hinging yourself deeper into this pose with your hands, with your elbows, drawing the crown of your head toward the floor. Maybe rocking left and right. And just finding a peaceful place here where you're consciously noticing and pressing into that hand-foot connection. But it's not aggressive, it's not energetic. You're just attentive to this moment. Gently bringing your fingertips out in front of you. You're going to inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Planting the hands. And stepping ourselves back to plank. Bringing our knees to the ground. Shifting forward so our shoulders are over our hands. We're just going to all do the modified version of Vinyasa Flow. Inhaling up. Exhale, lower halfway, keeping your elbows in. Stay calm. And from here, lower your feet to the mat and press into them. Opening up, curving the other way, straightening your arms into upward facing dog. Your toes can be tucked or they can be untucked. Just feeling that juicy curve. And then coming to plank very briefly to push yourself up to downward facing dog. Staying here for 3 breaths. I need to check my things. Be right back. From downward dog, we're going to bring our knees to the mat, bringing them together, sitting on our feet. And first letting our arms stretch out a little bit. Then resting our foreheads to the mat. Bringing our hands lazily to our feet. Pressing against the soles of the feet. Breathing into your lower back. You can stay here. If this is uncomfortable, you can come to child's pose. Either way, in any of these variations, you can you can set yourself up on a bolster or some kind of block just to keep your knees a little more comfortable. But if you're right here, we're going to move into rabbit pose. So pressing the soles of our feet into our palms, finding that hand-foot connection again, keeping our forehead on the mat and just raising our hips a little bit, pulling against the soles of our feet, opening up the back of our necks and our shoulders. Just breathing oxygen into our shoulders, stitching apart. When you're ready, coming into a child's pose if you weren't in one already. Arms are stretching out in front of you. Knees are on either side of the mat. Big toes are brought to touch. And we're resting our foreheads on the mat. Finding that same old breath filling us and emptying us. We're going to tent our hands up a little bit. And pull ourselves up just slightly, just almost like at the shoulders. It's a very gentle, just slight shoulder stretch here. Imagine just shifting the shoulder blades along your backside. Coming back to child's pose. We're going to tent the hands again. This time bringing them in. And coming to a child's pose. You can be sitting on a block. We're just going to rise our arms up, stretching out, looking up at our fingers. On the exhale, cactusing the arms out, fingers are spread, elbows are on either side. We're just opening up the chest a little bit. Inhale everything up. And exhale. Slowly come to a tabletop, gently coming out of this hip stretch. And from tabletop, swing your feet out to the side. We're just coming to our bums. We're coming to our bums right now. And slowly drip your back. With your legs bent, your feet are about hip distance apart. Your hands are stretched out in front of you. We're just going to slowly lower our backs all the way to the mat. Whatever that means to you. Moving our feet up a little bit. We're going to let our knees fall to the left side and the right side. Imagining them as windshield wipers. Just letting the hips open up a little bit, letting the legs breathe. Notice the sides of your feet rocking against the mat. And we'll come to a neutral position. Your arms are along your sides. We're pressing our palms into the mat. Maybe tucking the shoulders back a little bit so we can elongate the back of the neck a little bit, give it some life. We're going to prepare for bridge pose here. So our feet are hip distance apart. We're pressing into the soles of our feet. And before we do anything else, we're just going to come back to that place where we started, where we're just noticing our lower back. How does it feel now? Can you just kind of press that lower back into the mat a little bit, lifting the tailbone, tilting the hips just slightly. On an exhale, curving a little bit. Inhale back to neutral. And exhale, curving the spine just at the tailbone, pressing your lower back into the mat. We're going to continue that peel by pressing into the soles of our feet and gently pressing into the palms of our hands as well, curving upward, peeling up into bridge pose, lifting the hips. Feel your body slowly start to engage with this. Just offering the hips up to the sky. Pressing the arms against the mat. You can clasp your hands underneath you. Either way, becoming a little bit lighter and higher. Every inhale. Take one more inhale here. And exhale, slowly starting to melt your spine. Try to move it vertebra by vertebra. Words all the way back to the mat until you're back at neutral. We're going to windshield the wipers left and right again, letting those knees fall lazily. And finding a neutral, we're going to take one more bridge pose. So make a good, we'll press into the soles of our feet. We're going to peel that tailbone up a little bit. And just notice ourselves rising up with that tailbone. Steady and smooth bridge pose. If you're feeling adventurous or it's in your practice, you can plant your palms on either side of your head. The thumbs are facing that head that is yours. And you're just going to press into your palms like you are with your feet, lifting your full body up in the wheel pose. Just making it skeletal. You're just pressing into your palms just like your feet. If this is not in your practice, you can always just come straight back to bridge. Clasping your fingers underneath you, bringing those shoulders underneath your back. You're going to take one more beautiful inhale and exhale here, wherever you're at. Breathe to the very edges of yourself. Exhale. Let it all out. Slowly starting to become a little bit softer. So you melt your backside back into the mat, so to speak. Windshield wipering the knees a little bit. You're going to take a full body stretch here to either end of the room, making everything long. And exhale, hug both knees in, come into a bowl. From here, we're just going to begin playing around with both knees, spreading them apart to our armpits, preparing for happy baby. This is not in your practice. I suggest you just rest here with your legs bent. If it is in your practice, lift the soles of your feet to the ceiling. Grab the inside of the soles, or you can grab the outside, whichever way is more comfortable for you. But either way, we're just rocking back and forth. Whatever you're doing, we're just exploring this hip stretch. And in happy baby or not, we're straightening one leg and then the other. Coming back to our neutral. Pressing our feet into our palms. And then gently moving those legs together, hugging the shins in again into a ball. Rocking left and right. We're going to press our palms on either side of our bodies to the floor a little bit and rise up to a gentle candle just for a moment. Pressing our lower back into the floor, flexing our toes, offering the soles of our feet to the heavens. Feet are over our hips. Just enjoying this nice hamstring stretch. And we're appreciating our feet and all that they do. Even in these times of maybe not doing as much. They still are pretty impressive. And take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, just very gently letting those legs fall gracefully, carefully to the mat. Taking one more full body stretch. We're going to find our corpse pose. So that might mean hands on either side of your body, just feet splayed apart. You're starting to relax. I mean, that is what that means. What that means for me today, though, and if you have another pose in mind that's comfortable, feel free to take it. I'm going to take Supta Baddha Konasana, supine butterfly pose, where the soles of our feet are together and our knees are just splayed out. But wherever you're at, find rest here. Rediscover merely your voice. Your voice, your breath, and your voice, my voice. Notice how much longer and easier your breath has become. Try and feel it reaching all of your parts, your fingertips, tips of your toes. Think of nothing but the expansion and contraction of your body as you're breathing. This is a moment to not be thinking, to observe thoughts, but not to totally think and feel them. Find your still point. Begin to move by twitching the fingers and twitching your toes. Start to move the ankles and the wrists. Just observing them move slowly. And your arms start to animate, your legs start to stretch. We're taking a full body stretch. And we're going to roll to the right or the left side, coming to a fetal position. Resting our heads on our biceps. And curling our knees in. Taking a moment to be loving and affectionate with our bodies. Noticing your breath and how soft it is now. When you're ready, watch your top palm come in front of your face and press into the earth. You start gently pressing your body up. Rolling the neck around a little bit maybe. And coming to a seated position, whatever is comfortable. On an inhale, arcing our arms up, bringing the fingertips to touch, and bringing those fingers and hands to our chest center, pressing the palms into each other, elongating the top of the head. We're just going to find a one pure, true moment of peace here. Amidst a lot of weird feelings and experiences. So let your gaze be soft. Just focus on feeling your palms against each other. How much more alive your body feels. We'll inhale together. And exhale, bringing your thumb knuckles to your third eye. Feeling them against your cool forehead. We'll inhale the crown of the head up and exhale, tilting forward, namaste. Ending this practice for now. You can check out Steph on the Adventure Rock YouTubes 11 a.m. tomorrow. But that is enough from me for tonight. So thank you so much for joining me. And I hope to see you again. Stay safe.